Hey everybody, this is Grace, and in this video, just talk about little stuff going on. I am underneath, in case you're wondering, a crepe myrtle. Isn't it beautiful? It is. I've been doing this since just a little, well, like about a month and a half. During the time that I wasn't driving because I was late renewing my my driver's license. You had to schedule the appointment, first time in 47 years, and it was like a month, a little over a month. I mean, I knew that I had heard that I had to schedule, but I wasn't well, so that's when one of my dogs passed too during all that time. And but anyway, I finally got it a couple weeks ago, and I still think, because during that time I wasn't driving because no, I'm not going to pay a $200 fine plus a possibility of a jail sentence. I don't think so. To drive without a license, with one that's expired. Nope. Here in Texas, nope. Not worth it. But anyway, when I would make videos, I would come out the side and sit in my SUV and make videos this way. So anyway, but I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, I guess, that I wanted to start using this channel again, and on a regular basis, like at least once a day. And I said, unless something comes up, I have been doing this. Next month, this channel will be 11 years old. I know the score. Something always comes up. Since when has it stopped something coming up? When I say something comes up, it could be just in my life, but quite often it's also something that goes on in whatever social media. I usually only use YouTube, so these days. But something comes up and I have a reaction to it. I'm not a reaction channel. I don't name their names. I don't, not in that sense. Anyway, I don't say their channel names. I don't say their names. I don't, point fingers at them. But the behaviors is what I'm looking at. Like how scripted some of them are. They seem scripted. Like the people are just reading from a script, They're in some kind of show, and this is what you're supposed to do first. This is what you're supposed to do second. That kind of thing. And I talk about that. But I use those channels. I do that to kind of like a pressure release valve, to vent. Get it? Yeah. And I don't want this channel to become something like that. I've tried that over years to not make it, something that, is negative. But there's going to be things in life. That's reality. This is reality in life. Things go wrong. Things aren't always good. And but I don't really want to talk on this channel about that one, and not to try to be a big mystery behind it and all. It's something new to me. I started off by I thought YouTube. I haven't had YouTube since way back, I guess, when it started, and all the music. I just thought it was music and how-tos. How to speak a new language, or how to fix your this, your car, your whatever in their house, And when I first saw was some people doing Dollar Tree videos and Dollar Tree haul videos, HAUL, and I thought, well, I can do that. Let's see how it works, and let's see how YouTube works. Just anybody doing a haul video. I mean, anybody doing a video. So it was shopping. And yeah, so that was almost 11 years ago. Yeah. Okay, back here. 11 years last month, like I said. When I come out here, blah, 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 yeah. When I come out here, I get really distracted. I get really distracted right in the middle of that sentence even. But there's so much that goes on behind me on the road. Like one of our neighbors, I don't know what she does. I'm not a nosy neighbor, but this one affects me. she had, I don't know if it's a she, or I think it's a mother and her two adult daughters. I'm thinking they're maybe 40 years old or so, 30 or 40. I don't know. I would not recognize them if I saw them on the street. I might recognize their car, one of them, because the color is different. So, but they have a lot of people over quite often. And why I say it affects me is because they park quite often behind my, it's legal for them to, behind my driveway. They park back there, but it makes it difficult for me to get out. Not quite as easy as it usually is. It's legal, totally legal, so they can park there, but the HOA here does not allow people to have businesses here because of that reason. And I think she's running a business out of her home, and there can be up to let me see, like let's say around 7 cars out there. So yeah, but anyway, and it can be distracting. It can be, like I said, not distracting for me, but that's not their concern. But the thing of backing up, somebody parked right behind my driveway, not good. And that's why they had that, because of the traffic and everything. I don't know what is going on here again. Okay, now that I've been going around in circles here in this video, it's nothing unusual. But the thing that's not a mystery is that there are people out there, I don't want to make a mystery, there are people out there that are making videos about, like haul videos, HAUL videos. And these are food bank. They're calling them food banks, but I think it's just food pantries. Haul videos. Well, there are people out there who are really needy, and they need these, especially like, think single parents with kids, and the kids are out for summer any time of the year. They don't have enough money to support their kids. Who knows what's going wrong in their lives, why they don't have enough money right then. And elderly people, disabled people who are just down on their luck, just had a hard times, whatever. Those are the needy. But the ones I'm talking about are the greedy. And that's how I see it. Needy versus greedy. And these greedy ones are saying that they have money. They have enough money to get, pay for groceries. But they want to go to these food pantries, some of them call them food banks, and get free food, so they don't have to use their own money on groceries. They're not much, and they can use that money for other things. Then, if not even within the same video, at least some video in there, they'll do a variety of them. Several of them. They'll do things like show their home vacation, where they stay in a hotel, and they, spend the money for whatever entertainment. They talk about it, that they're going to, how they're going to entertain their kids for the summer, and it's expensive, stuff that they want to do. Now there are people out there who are needy, and they don't have money for groceries, yet you're going to take it. So you don't have to, so you can keep your money and go on vacation. That's whoa, it's just too far. It's just too despicable. Too despicable. And that's what has taken my time, and, yeah. It's like I can't shake it. Well, my master's degree is in sociology. My master's degree, not social work, but sociology. I used to say the difference between sociology and social work is that sociology is theory, social work is practice. It kind of is, but it's kind of not. It's kind of deeper than that. But anyway, of course, this kind of stuff would bother me, seeing people do that. And then they're so cocky, so smug, so snarky, snarly about anybody who dares to say anything to them. Then those people, therefore, are to them and their audiences will say that those are idiots. They will say that anybody who says that's wrong, that they're idiots and they're so out of touch with reality, because they don't see this is how poor people live, that they save their money so they can go on vacations. No, the needy, the poor people are the needy people. They don't take vacations on some... Oh, I already said all that. Okay, I gotta move on. I won't move on. I'll use my other channels, but just wanted to say why I say one thing and do another. Give an example when it comes to making videos. I've been going out purposefully since I got my driver's license renewed, and trying to go out every day, well, at least 5 days a week. And I was supposed to go in a couple of days to see a cardiologist. Finally, my plan was to say, hey, this is a new cardiologist. Say, hey, this is exactly what I want, and I was supposed to have it suggested. It was suggested to me when I was in the ER in March, and this is July. And they said that I needed to have cardio rehab, go through a program. Doctors, since then, oh my gosh, don't even. So I have this new one. Waited, I think, a couple of months. The appointment, they called me today and said that he's going to have an emergency he has to go to. You plan emergencies? I know, okay, I just couldn't resist. But he's going to have to go to, and so he has to reschedule my appointment. This is not the first time with this group. I don't know what you call them. I'm just going to call it a group of a bunch of, they got all these different specialists and all these different kinds of doctors and all this stuff and everything. And you can pick outside of it, but like pick a doctor that's not part of the group, that, or nurse or whomever or whatever. But they're in network, but they're not that, they don't work for them. I guess you put it that way. And, which I'm starting to think might be an actual better thing, because these doctors in this group, they do this quite often. I mean, 2 days before the appointment, people have lives. We make our schedules, schedule our lives around the appointments, make things changes, and what they have plans on what they need and what this. But it happens quite often. But anyway, I also wasn't going back to work until I find out how much I can do. And it's been pulling teeth. I have not been able to get an answer so far. Not at all. And I'm not talking just one doctor. Not just one specialist. Not just one kind. Seriously, take responsibility. Somebody. In the medical profession, somebody takes some responsibility here. And let me know. Really, let me know. When one of them, the one that I fired, I said enough was enough. He made me think of Doogie Howser anyway. But he says, well, I see it this way. My patients know their body more than I do. Well, the patients might be going to see you because something's wrong with that body. He was not going to take responsibility for anything. I asked him a point blank, yes or no, closed question. The answer would be yes or no, period. Nothing else. And he refused, he wouldn't. He says, well, or he wouldn't even say, well, he just, I'd recommend it. Because I asked him, is this test necessary, medically necessary right now that I need to take this? I'd recommend it. But Adam called him in a lie. So, not a lie. Adam played I don't know. I think Adam might have been innocent. He was with me, not realizing he was asking this doctor's a question. The doctor answered, and he would be showing that he's kind of lying to me, and his answer to me should have been no. I did not need it right then. You see? So this is the kind of stuff that goes on in my life. I wasn't going to mention all these negative things, but this is the stuff that goes on in my life. Really. So that appointment got changed to, of course, the first available is 3 weeks from now. I'd already waited like 2 months or so. And then I have one the next day. And she is not my doctor, but she was the only doctor available for the next 4 to 5 months. My doctor was going to be available it was 4 to 5 months from now, first available. Okay, that's a regular PCP, you know. And I said, well, doesn't he have a nurse? Can I see his nurse? And she said, the only one available is doctor, and she said, whatever the doctor's name is. Wow. That was 2 months. Yeah. Okay. Now that I laid all this out, let's just see how I do. Let's see if I can do videos, which might be a lot of them just be shopping videos, without any of this negative stuff. I am curious to see if I can, because it's not easy when your life is, you know, when weird stuff like that. Come on, people, you know, really. And speaking of weird, one of the neighbors is crawling past my house. What are you doing, mister? He's kind of strange anyway. He actually, seriously, literally cut his yard. He used to cut his yard with a weed, what do they call them? Weed whackers, or what are they called? Seriously, I wouldn't have been surprised if he had a pair of scissors. Maybe I'll leave it on a little funny note, but he really did. He did not mow his yard with a lawnmower. It was the weed whacker. What do they call them? I would always heard when I was younger, weed whacker. But that's not the name they call them now, is it? Weed eater, right? Yeah, I think so. He did it he did it for years. Seriously. Anyway, you gotta have at least that one, don't you? In the neighborhood, really, you gotta have that one. So that's enough for now. I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.